Welcome to today's video about NIO and the delivery numbers of week 29, 2023. So we can see the stock was up almost 11% yesterday, which is amazing. And today in the pre-market we're up almost 5% again. And the market cap is just above 20 billion now. Still, in my opinion, way too little for this kind of company, especially considering the numbers that keep going up in the last few weeks. But we will look at that later, so let's have a look here. CNF just reported that the weekly registration numbers for NIO landed at 4,700 units this last week. So this is basically a new record for NIO, and this represents a good solid growth over the, let's say, 4,100, which was the previous high in week 26. And then you can see, as we always have been saying, that you can never demand that every single week they will increase by a steady pace. But the good thing is, just if you average this out, you can see that we are basically just below 4,000 units delivered each of the last 4 weeks on average. But again, this last week 4,700, which is a record, and if you add these last 3 weeks, 29, 8 and 7, and also add a couple of days from 26, which are in July, so the 1st and the 2nd of July, which ended in this week but are in the July month, we will get a number of 12,700 units delivered as of right now in July. And with this number you can see that my expectations were a bit optimistic for July, but I was expecting, let's say, hoping for 18,000 units, which means that if we are able to have 5,300 deliveries for the last week, then of course this is highly possible that we will have a good, really good July and a recorded July for NIO. And if you actually have this, let's say, if we calculate that you will deliver 5,000 units per week on average for a full quarter, which is the third quarter of 2023, this will result in almost $3 billion in revenue just on that one quarter. And to be honest, if you annualize it, it's 12 billion. So keep that number 12 billion in your mind, and you can see that the market cap is at 20 billion. So this gives us basically, I don't know, like 1.7 price to sales ratio on a forward price to sales ratio for our extreme growth company. So this, to me, again, these numbers that we see here, 10% yesterday, 5% in pre-market, are amazing. But again, you have to remember that, in my opinion, if they just continue increase this at this kind of pace for the foreseeable future, let's say at least until mid-2024, honestly, like, this stock is way too overvalued. But again, this is not, I'm not an investment expert, I'm just some random guy that shares my opinions. So yeah, don't take this for investment advice. But anyway, so to summarize, I'm really happy with the numbers for this week. And if you look at the trend is looking really good, and by end of next week we are probably gonna see something at least minimum 17,000 and probably close to 18,000 in a green staple here, and that's basically a monthly record more or less. So no, everything looks good, and hopefully the company will keep going. And I know that there are new models launching again in a couple of months, so I think it's called EC6 on the new platform again. And then there's rumors that NIO will also launch their cheaper range of cars that are, let's say, even cheaper than the Tesla Model 3 in last quarter of next year, 2024. So in all honesty, despite all the bad news in the last 6 months, maybe even the last 12 months, we can see that they have turned the ship around to some degree. Now the important thing is to actually maintain this pace. So thank you for watching the video, and please make sure to subscribe and like the video, and please put a comment about if you have any suggestions that I might to think of and make a better video. So yeah, thank you, and see you in the next one.